Welcome to FireFlex Yoga. I'm Shannon, and I'll be leading you through today's yoga practice, which I'm calling Fun with Lunges. When I teach, my intention really is to bring in yoga postures that simulate the movements that you do every day. So take a moment and just think about, where in your life do you lunge? What are you doing? Maybe even how often? Yesterday, I was with my grandson and I was lunging all day long. So if you don't have toddlers, maybe you are not lunging all day long, but we lunge to pick up things off the floor. We lunge to get on the floor. And so today that's going to be the focus. When you're ready, find either a comfortable seat. I'm sitting up on a cushion so that my hips can be higher than my knees. And that way my lumbar and pelvis are in a healthy orientation for my back. Sometimes when we're sitting on the floor, we tend to roll back towards our tailbone and flex our lower spine. So see if you can find a way to sit or lie on your back with knees bent so that your body feels supported and you really can begin to focus on what's happening inside. So once comfortable, start to take deeper than normal breaths. Begin to breathe in a way that maybe you're slowing your breath down and it feels a little fuller, like your torso is expanding as you inhale and then relaxing or maybe even deflating as you exhale. In yoga practice, in FireFlex yoga practice, I begin all my classes with breathing. Learning how to breathe with intention, learning how to breathe with awareness, learning how to breathe to regulate our nervous system brings us into a yoga mindset, helps us to enter the yoga space, really inside of our body and mind. So closing your lips if you're not congested and begin to take maybe 4 or 5 seconds on an inhalation and then matching that same amount of time on an exhalation. Inhale, feeling your chest and your rib cage and your belly expanding and lifting, and then exhaling, things are softening and your belly is deflating. Inhaling long, slow, and a smooth breath in, and then exhaling all the breath out. We'll do this a few more times together, and as you're breathing, just begin to notice how you're feeling in your body. Take the temperature on your energy, on your mood, and maybe what you've been thinking about or obsessing about. And then we'll come back to this place at the end of class. And again, just notice, bringing more awareness. How is yoga and breathing and movement impacting our lives? 2 more breaths here. And last one, long, slow, smooth breath in, and then followed by a full and complete breath out. And then let's keep the breathing going as we start to add some movement. So bringing your right hand down onto the mat, reaching your left fingertips towards the mat, and then rotating your palm towards the ceiling. So we bring that shoulder joint into a healthy external rotation as we send the left arm up on an inhale and begin to bend over to the right on an exhale. Keep pressing down through our left sitting bone, and stretching all through the left side of your body. And then you're welcome to look down at your fingertips, looking forward at me, or all the way up towards your left arm, maybe towards the sky or ceiling, depending upon where you're practicing. Take a long, slow, smooth breath in. And as you exhale, take your gaze back down to the mat and then come all the way back up to sitting. We'll pause for a breath. Nice. And then we'll continue on the other side. Left fingertips down, flipping that right palm towards the ceiling. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bending over to the left, pressing down through your right sitting bone. And here, just putting your head in a position that works for your neck. And breathing into the whole right side of your body. Reaching through the fingertips, pressing down through the left or the right sitting bone, and then coming all the way back up on an inhalation and pausing for a breath. So bringing some twisting into our spine, we'll take our right hand behind our body. Fingertips are pressing into the floor so we can get a little more length right through the top of the head. Taking your left hand to your right knee and just a gentle twist over to the right. Deep breath in as you lengthen and sit up a little taller. And then as you exhale, slowly twisting to the right. Inhaling, come back to center. Pause for a breath. Finding that tall posture again as you're sitting. Left hand comes behind your back, fingertips are on the floor, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Let's inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, gentle twist to the left. One more time. As you inhale, you come back away from the twist, get a little bit taller, and then exhale, bringing some twist into your spine. And then inhale back to center. Start to walk your hands out in front of you, keeping your sitting bones either on that cushion or on the mat. Lengthening through the spine as you inhale, and then exhale. Bring your chest a little closer to the floor, but still keeping your sitting bones rooted down. And then using your hands, walking your hands back in towards your legs. All right, we are off to a wonderful start. From here, we'll rotate on to tabletop pose. This is our moving into some more flexion here with our spine. Wrists are stacking underneath shoulders, knees are stacking underneath your hips. You can tuck your toes or you can press the tops of the feet into the mat. Maybe just try both and see which one brings more stability into this posture. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll start to slide the shoulder blades down towards the waist. Draw our chest in between our arms as our belly moves towards the floor. This is called cow pose, and our spine is in an extension posture. And then pressing through the hands, the knees, and the feet, we'll round our spine, coming into cat pose, like a cat stretching. And then inhaling, we'll find neutral posture. This next posture will bring both the hip and the shoulder closer together. So we're looking over our right shoulder and we're flexing here, a lateral flexion through the spine. And then we'll move this posture to the other side. So bringing left shoulder towards left hip, looking over the left shoulder at my feet, and then coming back into tabletop pose. So a few more times we'll go through these 4 postures together. So inhaling, belly drop, chest lifts, pelvis rotates forward. Exhaling, you'll tuck the pelvis, round the spine, look in between your knees. Inhaling brings us back into tabletop. And as we exhale, left shoulder towards left hip, inhaling back into tabletop, and exhaling right shoulder towards right hip. And then inhaling back into tabletop. And one more time. Belly drops, chest reaches forward. Maybe we look forward or even up. Exhale, pressing round, coming into cat pose. Inhale, bringing our spine back into a neutral shape, and then exhaling, right shoulder towards right hip. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, left shoulder towards left hip. Inhale, tabletop. This time, tucking the toes if they're not already tucked, reaching the hips back towards the heels, and drawing your fingertips forward, forward, forward for an extended child's pose. We'll take a long, slow, deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, let your forehead come a little bit closer to the mat. Right? Keep the arms reaching and the elbows lifting as you slowly, slowly lower your forehead towards the mat. Take another deep breath in here. Wonderful. And as you exhale back into tabletop posture. So we'll move into lunging. And I think this would be a great time to just take a tiny break here and grab our props. I always like to have a strap available. Straps help us to bring body parts closer together. And then some yoga blocks or something that will bring the floor a little closer to you so that, one of the principles of yoga is steadiness and ease, stira and sukham. So I think the props are where we find some ease. So starting in tabletop posture again, I'll take both of these blocks and bring them to either side of the front of the mat. And using the blocks, we'll step forward with the right foot. Yep. Picking up that left knee for a moment and just kind of wiggling the foot back towards the back of the mat and setting the knee back down. And then sliding the blocks back so that we can lift our chest up. So lunging requires this flexion in the hip and in the knee and the ankle. And then at the same time, the stability through the trunk and the shoulders. So letting our fingertips here rest on the block as we bring our right leg into a lunge position. You can see that my knee is over my ankle. Stacking joints, we do this a lot in yoga to protect them, especially when we're bearing the weight of our body. So fingertips are lightly touching the mat and just lifting our head up, letting our shoulders relax down, really letting the lower body do the work here. Take a long, slow, smooth breath in, followed by a full, complete breath out. Back toes are tucked. We're pressing into the ball of the left foot and down into the right foot, down into the toe mound of the big toe on the right foot, but also feeling the outer edge of the right foot pressing into the mat. And then releasing forward, hands on mat, sliding that right knee back to meet the left, reaching back into an extended child's pose for just one beat, and then grabbing a hold of our blocks and stepping the left foot forward. Low lunge on the left side. Blocks are forward initially so we can use them to pick up that right knee, wiggle that right foot back, and then set the knee back down. And then sliding the blocks back so I can lift my chest, yes, but I can also find this neutral shape in my pelvis. So rather than having my pelvis really tilted forward, I'm going to work, and this may take some time, to begin to lift the front of the pelvis up and the tailbone reaching down. And just notice how this feels in your body and what adjustments you need to make to find that steadiness and ease as you practice. Letting the head be a natural extension of the spine. Take a long, slow, smooth breath in and a full, complete breath out. And then we'll take our hands back to the mat. Take the left knee back towards the right. Scoot back into an extended child's pose. Enjoy a deep breath here. And then coming back up to tabletop, which is our reset position here. And then turning our body towards the long edge of the mat. And we'll walk our knees over to the left-hand side of the mat so we can extend our right leg to the right. And I'm still on the mat getting some of that resistance here in the foot. This looks pretty good here. On fingertips or on a block. Yep. Pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. And then as you exhale, just take the hips back a little bit. And what you might likely feel is a stretch here in the groin, deep into the inner thigh, maybe all the way down the inner leg line to the foot. And adjusting this posture so you're feeling something, but you're still finding that steadiness and ease. And then we'll inhale, draw the hips forward. We'll exhale, draw the hips back. Inhale, hips are forward, and exhale, hips go back. And we'll pause here for a breath. This time we'll inhale, have the hips come forward, and we'll start to take our hands up onto our hips, lifting our chest with the right leg extended. On an inhalation, draw those left fingertips toward the mat. Flip the palm out and send the bicep right alongside the ear. And then as you exhale, start to slide your right hand down your leg, not so that it lands on the knee. So either here on the thigh, or if you can even go further down into the calf. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, hands are on hips. Come right back into tabletop pose. Nice. We'll take a minute to send those hips back. Whew. Feeling the release on that posture. And then walking over to the other side of our mat so that we can extend the left leg out. Stacking the right knee underneath the hip and just back and forth a little bit at your own time here, moving with your breath and moving in a way that you're feeling something, but not so much that you're having to hold your breath. This is why starting with breathing and really starting with breathing in a posture that's not asking anything from your body, that can be your home base. To find that breath that's smooth and steady, that's rich, bringing a lot of oxygen into your body, but also keeping your nervous system calm. And this last time, the next time that your hips go back, just hold for a breath. And then drawing your hips forward, we'll start to walk our hands back towards our legs and then all the way up towards the hips, lifting the chest. Taking the right fingertips towards the mat and turning that palm away from you. On an inhalation, send the right arm up. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend to the left. A phrase that I heard a lot when I was practicing early on that really stuck with me for the last 20 years is that it doesn't matter how far you go in yoga, but it matters how you go. Coming all the way back up with hands on hips and then back into tabletop facing me, a little short Pause a breath here with the hips back, feeling the release in the inner thighs. And then again, turning towards the short edge of your mat and tabletop pose and grabbing a hold of your blocks. Stepping forward into low lunge with the right foot forward. And then taking your hands onto your hips and lifting your chest up. Deep breath in here. And just releasing the left arm forward, shoulder height. Reach forward with the left arm. Let those hips come forward. And then take the elbow to the outside of the right knee. So this is a low lunge twisting posture. This is actually the posture that's on the front of my book, one of my favorites. Take your right arm and you can bring your palms together, or you can even create a fist, pressing the palms together, and begin to lunge forward as you look over that right elbow. Really paying attention to your low back here in this posture. Feeling the flexion through the right hip and knee and ankle. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Good. Release. Switching sides. Drawing your right knee back. Stepping forward with your left foot. Finding low lunge. Take your time. And then when you're ready, lifting your hands to your hips. This time we're going to take the right arm shoulder height out in front of us. We're going to reach forward with that right arm and then take the elbow to the outside of the left knee. Palms come together, or you're pressing your left fist into your right palm and you're looking over your left. Low lunge pose with a twist on the left side. Really great. And then taking your time to untwist the posture, bringing your hands to the mat, tucking the right toes under, stepping back with the left foot. Coming into a high plank posture, top of a push-up here, reaching the heels away from the top of the head, and then start to soften the knees and let the hips go up and back into a downward facing dog. And then rolling forward into plank pose. And then pressing up and back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, plank pose. Exhaling, down dog. This time we'll soften the knees a lot, pressing to the shoulders, releasing through the neck. Take a long, slow, smooth breath in. Exhaling here. Inhaling into a plank pose. And then the knees will come down. We'll lower the chest down and let the forehead come all the way down onto the mat. And then sliding the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting up the right leg and reaching the toes way, way behind you, pressing into the right foot. Lifting up the left leg, reaching the toes towards the back of the mat, and then pressing the left foot into the mat. Can bring the legs together or have them hip width apart, and bring a slight tuck into the pelvis so you take out that extension in the low back, at least minimize it. Pressing into the legs, inhale, lift your chest up, baby cobra, hands are down, legs are super active. You can keep looking down at the mat to protect your neck and then lower all the way down. Press onto hands and knees, coming right through tabletop pose. And we'll press into an extended child's pose. Maybe make a little pillow here for our forehead. Deep breath in, long, slow, smooth breath in. and a full, complete breath out. One more time, long, slow, smooth breath in, and a full, complete breath out. And pressing yourself up just enough so that you can roll over onto your back. Having your knees bent to begin with, lowering down into your elbows, feeling the back of your head resting on the mat. Letting your hands come by your hips. Feel your chest lift, your rib cage expand, your belly expand as you inhale. Open the mouth, exhale all the breath out. Do that again. Long, slow, smooth breath in. Having the whole torso expand as you inhale, pause, and then open your mouth and exhale all the breath out. Let the lips close slightly. Continue to breathe in and out through the nostrils. And press your palms down. We're moving into bridge pose. So you're welcome to slide your heels a little bit closer to your hips. You can determine this once you start to move into bridge pose. You'll notice what feels good on your knees and your low back. So to press the tailbone towards the mat. And then as you exhale, start to round the tailbone away from the mat as the low back flattens. Inhaling, press the tailbone towards the mat. And then exhaling, curl the tailbone away. And as the tailbone curls away, just go with that as you start to lift the hips and the low back and the mid back up off the mat into bridge pose. And if you need to adjust your feet, go ahead and come out of the pose, make the adjustment, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, curl the tailbone away from the mat, and again, press all the way up into bridge pose. So here in bridge pose, your knees are about hip width apart, you're pressing down through the feet without collapsing through the arches. Relaxing through the glutes, let the backs of the legs do the work here, and then we'll lower all the way down. Take a pause, take a breath. On your next exhalation, press up again to bridge pose. Here, if you'd like, you can bend the elbows into robot arms, pressing through the tricep muscles here. Taking a deep breath in, and then lowering all the way down. Come up one more time on your own. And when you press up, you want to keep your knees as much as possible parallel and your inner thighs working down. That will help you from clenching the glute muscles and begin to bring extra pressure into the low back, which you don't want to do. So again, you're going to press into bridge pose for a final time. You can draw those inner thighs down, keeping spaciousness here in your low back. Release the glutes if you happen to have those contracted. And then we'll lower all the way down. And then separate the feet pretty wide apart so that the knees can just rest together. Your hands, one hand can rest on your belly, one hand here can rest on your chest. And then separating the knees and the feet about hip width apart, we'll take the outer right ankle on top of the left thigh. coming into figure four pose and drawing the left knee in towards the chest, holding on behind the thigh or across the shin, flexing through the right foot to protect that right knee. And take a few breaths here. Opening up or stretching through the outer right hip, rocking a little bit from side to side. And when you're ready, releasing and switching sides. Left outer ankle on top of right thigh, figure four pose on the left side, flexing the left foot, stabilize the knee, rocking a little bit from side to side. And then setting the right foot back down and then uncrossing your feet. We'll straighten the legs, reaching through the heels or toes, taking the arms overhead for a big stretch, like a morning stretch. Deep breath in, deepest breath you've taken today. Hold at the top of your inhalation. Open mouth, exhale all the breath out. Wonderful. Bending the knees, and we're going to finish with happy baby posture. Drawing the right knee in towards the armpits and holding on here around the ankle or in the inner right foot. Same thing on the left side. Drawing the left knee in towards your armpit, holding on around the ankles, the inner or outer foot, and begin to draw those feet wide apart and the knees down towards the floor. And while you're drawing the knees towards the floor, see if you can keep pressing your tailbone and getting more of your low spine sacrum on the mat here in happy baby pose. Bringing a little play, a little levity into our practice. And then we'll release. You can draw the knees into the chest. Ooh, give your knees a hug, stretching through the low back here. This can feel really good. You decide. And then we'll extend the legs out for a rest for our final posture before we come up to sitting and do a recheck. So, Shavasana, feet can be wide apart. You can extend the arms wide apart, turn the palms up. If you're keeping the eyes open, just really notice what you're looking at. Or you can close the eyes, your choice. Allowing your whole body here to be supported by the floor. We call this posture the posture of integration and rest. And I find that those two really go hand in hand. When we rest and we let our nervous system reset, we have an opportunity to integrate and make sense of our experiences, what's happening in our body-mind. Your opportunity here to rest for a minute. Just focusing on your breath, focusing on sensations in your body. And then start to bring some movements into your fingers and toes. Maybe rotate your chin from one shoulder to the other. Feeling the pressure across the back of your head. And then drawing your head to center, you roll over onto your right side, curling up into a fetal position, maybe with your head resting on your arm, getting ready to transition. And then taking your time to press all the way up to sitting on your mat, sitting on a prop to take the pressure out of your knees and to support your low back. And first, we'll just notice how it feels to sit after we had some fun with lunges. So this is our retest. What's happening in your hips, in your low back, and then we'll go through our first posture we did together, which is right fingertips on the mat, reaching the left fingers tips down and flipping that palm over. On an inhalation, stretching up. On an exhalation, bending over to the right, keeping the left sitting bone down. And noticing how this feels on the left side of your body, right into your low back. Can you go a little further with ease? What's happening? And then switching sides. So left fingertips are down, reaching through the right fingertips and turning the palm up. On an inhalation, sweeping that arm up. And on an exhalation, bending over to the left. A full breath here before you come all the way up. And congratulating yourself for a yoga practice just accomplished, just completed. This is what I do. This is what I love. Yoga has had such a profound impact on my life in all ways, which I will be dropping little seeds in each one of our classes. But until I see you again, thank you so much for practicing, and be well.